floor to the representative of Malaysia.
I thank you, Mr. President, for convening and chairing today's meeting. My delegation is grateful to the Special Coordinator, Mr. Nikolai Mladenov, for his important briefing and reflections. Malaysia associates itself with the statements to be delivered by Venezuela on behalf of the non-aligned movement and with the statement to be delivered by Uzbekistan on behalf of the OIC. Mr. President, Malaysia deplores the violent clashes between the Israeli security forces and Palestinians on 21st July in the West Bank, which left 3 Palestinians dead and injured many others. These clashes in the West Bank further complicate the already volatile situation in the occupied Palestinian territories. We call on all parties to refrain from actions that could further escalate tensions in the Jerusalem Old City. We condemn in the strongest terms the closure of the Al-Aqsa Mosque on July 14th by the Israeli authorities. We join other member states demanding that Israel refrain from any actions that would alter the status of the Islamic holy site. We reiterate our call for Israel to provide unrestricted access for Muslim worshippers to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. We also urge Israel to cease any actions that could have the effect of changing the status quo of the Islamic holy sites. The sanctity of the religious sites must be respected. In this regard, we also commend and support the efforts of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and custodian of the holy sites of Jerusalem to restore calm in the holy city. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, we are extremely disheartened to learn of the plans announced by Israel to increase the development of housing units to a rate of over 30% more than were advanced in all of 2016 in East Jerusalem, as highlighted by Mr. Mladenov earlier today. This is a clear violation of the Security Council Resolution 2334 of last year. We recall the pronouncement by the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People to seek for the quarterly report of the UN Secretary General on the implementation of Resolution 2334 to be produced in writing. The report must outline where the parties were in compliance, or in cases of non-compliance, concrete measures must be detailed out to ensure full and effective implementation and enforcement of the resolution. We continue to look forward to a written report on the implementation of the resolution. Let us make good on the historic Council action that reflected the urgency and conviction to reverse the negative trends that threaten peace and viability of the two-state solution. We must now focus on the implementation of existing Security Council resolutions, including on settlements, as well as on all acts of violence against civilians and further incitements. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, being detached and apathetic to the developments in the occupied Palestinian territory are no longer an option. In this regard, Malaysia welcomes the positive initiative made by the United States in facilitating a water supply arrangement between the Palestinian Authority and the Israeli government for Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza. The respective UN and Egyptian initiative to facilitate provision of fuel for electric supply, as well as the concrete commitments made by Qatar on the reconstruction in Gaza. As we mark 50 years of illegal Israeli occupation of Palestine, the international community owes it to the Palestinian people to mobilize its political will and explore other peaceful, legal, and diplomatic avenues available to us to end the longest occupation in modern history. Let us not be condemned by history by virtue of being a bystander. Finally, Malaysia remains committed to play a constructive role to realize the two-state solution. We reiterate our long-standing support for the inalienable rights of self-determination for the Palestinian people and just, comprehensive, and final solution to the Palestinian-Israel conflict. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of Malaysia for